And also for my birthday, my wife got me this really cool beatboxing t-shirt. It's covered in books and cats and books and cats and books and cats and books and cats. Hey everyone, my name's Dom, welcome to the channel. Today I've got my first ever book haul video for you. Book haul videos are not something that I actively thought that I would be doing on the channel because I don't typically acquire new books at such a rate that makes a book haul kind of appropriate really. But I've actually received quite a few books recently due to a couple of different factors, so I just wanted to take a little bit of time to showcase them and to show you some of the books that I'm looking forward to reading in the coming months. So first off, one of the reasons that I've added a number of new books to my collection recently is because I've just had, at the end of June, my 40th birthday, so I received quite a few books for my birthday. One of the presents that I often get from one of my relatives is book tokens, and what I normally do, because I've been in a bit of a reading slump for the last couple of years, I normally give those to my daughter, and when my wife takes my daughter out to the bookshop, we get her some books rather than actually spending those book tokens on myself. So this year, because I'm reading again, I'm back in the zone, so to speak, with my reading. I decided I was going to use these book tokens for myself, and when my wife went to the bookshop, I gave her some of the books that are on my wish list and told her to see what she could find basically. And she came back with two books for me to chalk off my wish list. So the first one is The Bone Chips by R.J. Barker. This one I've not actually heard too many people talking about, too many reviews from people in the community that I know, but I have seen several people who own this book and have kind of showcased the cover. So this one looks quite interesting. I like the cover itself on this one with a kind of hand-drawn and handwritten look to it, but the story as well, it's kind of two warring nations who build boats out of the bones of dragons. Dragons have disappeared, so there's no kind of opportunity to build new boats and expand the navy and so forth. And then in the events in this book, there's a dragon has been spotted in faraway waters, so there's kind of a race on as these two warring nations both try to get there first to sort of take control of the situation and assert dominance, because it's a power play basically. Who controls the dragons controls the waters. So sounds quite interesting. I'm quite looking forward to reading this one. And then the second book that my wife brought me in this little shopping trip was Before They're Hanged by Joe Abercrombie, book 2 in the First Law series. This is one that I read quite a while ago now. I typically read at the moment on Kindle, and then once I know I like a book, or at least if I like it enough, I will go out and buy a physical copy. So this is specifically bought to match the design of the blade itself that I already have, and now I've got that one. And for my birthday actually, she completed the set and got me the Last Argument of Kings as well. So now I've got all three of the First Law books in this beautiful UK design, and they look great together on the shelf. So the next set of books were gifted to me by one of the nicest, most generous people I've met in my time in this community, Patrick, who is one of the regulars on a couple of the Discord servers that I'm on, but he was one of the early supporters of my channel. He's always got a kind word, he's always great to have a chat with and to talk about books, and he got for me, first off, The Wolf of Oriono by K.S. Veloso. This is one I showcased actually in my recent book design tag video. It's one where I really love the cover. It was one that was kind of put on my radar because of the cover, and it's got a nice animated design that Orbit have done for some of their new authors over the last couple of years. So this one is book 1 in the Chronicles of the Bitch Queen, and I think the name of our main character, or the title as the Bitch Queen, along with how this cover looks, kind of gives an idea of the type of story that I'm going to be getting into when I read this one. But by the sounds of it, she maybe lost a kingdom or had a kingdom divided just as she was about to be married and crowned queen, and she's trying to patch things up. I don't really know too much about this one, but I've heard a lot of people actually have read it and said that it's really good, so I'm looking forward to getting into this one. The second book that Patrick got me, very timely, was The Sword of Kygen by M.L. Wang. This one, over on the Wizardly Duo Discord, we're going to be doing a buddy read of this month actually, in July, so if you're interested, I'll leave a link to the Discord channel down below in the description box, so head on over there and join in the chat. But this one, I won't talk about it too much because I don't know a vast amount about the story itself, but I do know that it's a bit of a booktube darling for the fantasy community, and apparently it is absolutely brilliant and will make me cry. Otherwise, I'm not really human, according to Stacey and Narsil over in the Discord channel there. So guys, I will read it this month and I'll let you know whether I shed a tear or not. And then the third book Patrick got for me was The Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Buehlman. This is one of the recent reads that I had. It's actually one of the best books that I've read this year, one of my favourites, and I'll link in the cards at the top my review, which was actually the first review on the channel, or the first video on the channel. So this book's kind of got a bit of a special place in my heart, but I really enjoyed this book and I loved the humour in it. It's really my type of humour, and I know a lot of people have read this since it's come out and have really enjoyed it. So thank you very much, Patrick. You're a great friend, and your generosity completely astounded me when I received these. I really wasn't expecting it, and I just want to say a big thank you. It really means a lot to me. So talking of great generosity, we had over in the Wizarding Duo Discord, we held a kind of a Secret Santa style gift exchange called Wiser. I can't remember what it stands for off the top of my head, but I'll just leave it in the blank space nicely waiting here at the side of me. But this is something that was set up by Walker from Walker Writes 7. So thank you very much, Walker, for arranging this. It was a really nice event, and I hope we can do it again sometime in the future. So this, as I say, was a Secret Santa style gift exchange. It was all done anonymously, and once you signed up, you would be allocated someone to buy a gift for, and you would have access to their Amazon wish list to go and choose a book and send it to them. And I had the most generous person who got me 3 books from this exchange, so I was really, really lucky. An absolute legend, whoever it was who was my Secret Santa, so to speak. So I received Assassin's Apprentice, which I read recently. It was first book that I finished in June, and again I'll link up in the top my review of Assassin's Apprentice that I did recently. But I also got book 2 and book 3 in the Farseer series as well. So Assassin's Quest is book 3, and Royal Assassin is book 2. So I'm really looking forward to getting to these ones because I really enjoyed Assassin's Apprentice, the kind of the opening story of Fitz in the Farseer series, and look, each book gets bigger as it goes along, so something to really get my teeth into when I move into continuing the Farseer series. So thanks very much to, I say, to Walker for arranging it, but especially to my the person who got me these books as part of that Wiser gift exchange. Amazingly generous. I really, really thank you for it. It's brilliant. And then the last gift that I got from someone in the community, this was an early birthday present from the amazing Megan from Megan's Reading Revelations. Megan got for me the 3 books that are the kind of the standalone books, sometimes called the Great Leveler. They are the standalone books that follow the First Law series by Joe Abercrombie. So we've got Best Served Cold, and we were having a discussion about this one. She also hasn't read it, so a couple of the guys are joining in. But on Megan's Discord channel in September, we're going to do a buddy read of Best Served Cold. There's then Red Country, a bit thinner that one, so won't take quite as long to get through. And The Heroes. So it's a really attractive trilogy of books. and they go really nicely together on the shelf with the First Law trilogy as well. So thank you very much, Megan. Absolutely overjoyed to have received these, and I can't wait to join in on the buddy read of Best Served Cold in September. So then getting on to some books that my wife got for me for my birthday, and starting off with a couple that I've actually read, but she got me Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell. This is book one in the Greatcoat series. I read this in April. I haven't done a review of it, a video review at least, but I think what I'll do is a series review of the Greatcoats, because I read books 2, 3 and 4 in June, sort of all back to back, and that's maybe a little bit close for me to pull out the individual events of each one. So I might do a series review of these, but this one is it's now one of my favourite series. I really enjoyed the Greatcoats. If you haven't read it, pick it up. And Traitor's Blade is actually quite a thin book, so it's not too bad. It's not much of a commitment. The other books are all longer. They're in between sort of 500 and 600 or so pages. So it's a really great series, but it's really fast paced as well, so it won't take you long to get through if it's something that you try out and enjoy. The second book my wife got me that I'd already read is The Shadow of What Was Lost. This was the second book that I read in June for the Olympics Readathon over at the Shelf Space Discord server. This one I really enjoyed. It's book one in the Lacanius trilogy, and I added the second and the third books to my wish list when I'd read this, because I enjoyed it that much and I knew that I was going to be wanting these for my shelves. This one, again, I reviewed recently, so rather than talk too much about it, I'm just going to link at the top the video review that I did for The Shadow of What Was Lost. Next up is We Ride the Storm by Devin Madsen. This is one that I talked about in my recent book design tag video, to say that I really love the cover of this one with that black and white artwork, and then the red for those clouds above it. It looks absolutely amazing. And this one, I'll just show it here in the space, but it's another one of these Orbit books that's got the animated cover, which I think is really cool, and I wish more books and more publishers would actually do this, because I think it'd be really good, and it just adds another little dimension and gives kind of another talking point for some books to make them stand out a little bit when we're looking at them on BookTube, for instance. Next up, she got me The Black Coast. Beautiful cover there. I love those blues, and then that sun-hit mountain in the background there. I think that just looks really nice. But this is The Black Coast by Mike Brooks. It's not a debut novel, but it's his first kind of real fantasy novel. Mike Brooks writes for the Black Library, which is stories about Warhammer, or set in the Warhammer universe. But this is his first fantasy. To read the kind of the synopsis of it, it's all about dragon riders and warring nations, sort of pirates who come to invade this dragon riding community. But I saw a video recently from Books with Brittany, and she kind of dispelled that notion a bit and said it's more about how these two different peoples are living together. They're kind of forced to live together, and how they start to learn to live with each other's cultures. So it's apparently a bit kind of slower paced than I was expecting and initially led to believe, but I think that's a good thing, because in kind of her paraphrase words, if you go in with that mindset, you might be a bit disappointed. So knowing actually what the book's about and a bit about the pacing, you can manage your expectations and hopefully not be disappointed, and be able to get a bit more out of the book. So thanks for that, Brittany. But I'm looking forward to this one. It looks really nice, and I'm hoping it's going to be a really good book as well. And then the last two books from the seven that my wife got me for my birthday were Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. Yes, they are different books. It's part 1 and 2, because in the UK they are split into 2 volumes, because apparently it's too big to have as one single paperback. But I've read Way of Kings years ago and quite enjoyed it, and one of my kind of unofficial targets for myself for this year is to carry on with Stormlight Archives. So I'm now going to be able to do that. Hopefully enjoy and move on to Oathbreaker and Rhythm of War as well, but slight difference in the design on the spine. It's a different font, and so it looks slightly out of place, but it's nice that they still match with the nice white covers of the rest of my Brandon Sandersons, so it looks great on the shelf altogether. And one of the things that I guess I'll be doing in the future is a new bookshelf tour, so we can see how I've had to rearrange things to be able to fit all of these new books in. And then the last new book to show off, this is one that I bought myself using some birthday money from the in-laws, so it's maybe a bit more pricey than I would normally buy, than I would normally pay for a book for myself, but because it was birthday money, it's basically a present. So I treated myself to Dragonmage by N.L. Spencer. So this is a beautiful looking book, and it's probably one of the prettiest books on my shelves. The cover is, you might have been able to see it there, it is slightly off centre in the folding, so if you've got any experience in it, let me know if you think I'll be able to flatten out and refold it. I'm kind of a bit nervous of doing it because I don't want to end up ruining it, but underneath it's just got the kind of the naked artwork, just the barcode on the back and the details on the spine, but the front has just got the same artwork but without the border and the text, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I've heard a number of people who've read it and say it's a really good book as well, but basically this is a true cover buy for me. I didn't really know anything much about it, but it's got dragons in it, and we're talking dragon riders, and that's kind of always a win for me. One of the things when I grew up reading fantasy, one of the things that I always loved was dragons, so kind of speaks to my heart, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one and finding out if it is as good as people who've read it said it is. So that's about it, but before I go, I just wanted to say again a massive thank you to everyone who makes this community what it is. I have seen plenty of book haul videos, and I know the generosity. I've seen people who've gifted booktubers books plenty of times, but it's not just because we've got a platform of a booktube channel. I've seen people buying books just for friends that they've met in Discord communities, for instance, because the generosity of the people we have in this community is amazing. It's not just because we've got this platform, other people are receiving books as well. So that's something that I don't think is necessarily known outside of those immediate circles. So I just wanted to shine a very quick light on that, and say that the amazing, generous people that we have in the community, they're sharing the love and sharing books amongst a wider circle as well. So thank you to everyone who makes this community amazing, but also for me, myself, thank you especially to Patrick and to Megan and to my Secret Santa in the Wiser Gift Exchange for some of the books that I've showcased today. So anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up down below, and if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button whilst you're there, and I will see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye bye.